Game 2, and there's nothing much going on this board here. There's no draw, and there's chapel, so you get thin and you put a bunch of money or money cards in your deck. There's Marauder that attacks and Militia, so the opening is probably something like Chapel and Militia. Hopefully you can play your Militia and slow down your opponent's trashing. Um, so I'm thinking here Chapel Militia, get a festival, and then get a bunch of silvers and golds. The only thing you have to think about here, I think, is whether or not to put Death Card in your deck. If you thin down, there's a decent chance it can find ruins, it can even trash your chapel, and it's quite a lot of money. So I think that's the only real consideration on this board. Aside from that, it's just standard Dominion with chapel on board. Just thin down, get lighthouses to defend yourself from the attacks, and then get a bunch of like festivals or silvers and golds or something like that. So we both open chapel and militia here. Again, very base set opening here. This is not a good hand for me, but I'm able to pick up a lighthouse still, which I want 2 or 3 of in my deck. I don't want much more than that, though. I just want to be defended most of the time, and 2 or 3 should do that job very nicely. Here, I choose to chapel these coppers away instead of the militia. I could have picked up a festival, but I thought trashing was a bit better. Even though no estates go away, that is really what you want to trash here. The estates, 1 or 2 coppers hanging around isn't too bad, but the estates hanging around is actually quite bad. So my opponent gets another trash off with chapel there, as I pick up a second lighthouse. So maybe 1 more lighthouse for me, I'm thinking. Eager to get to festival. My opponent manages to get to 5 here, and thinks for a while before deciding on the festival, which I agree with. I think is the right play. You may want to get the death card, like I said, and the extra actions, the silver, the plus buy, all good things from the festival here. So festival for me, again, I have this choice of whether to play militia or chapel. I opt for chapel here, but hold back on a copper so that I will pick up a lighthouse. This is my 3rd lighthouse, and I think that is sufficient for the whole game. Here I'm hit by militia. Easy discard there. My opponent gets rid of 1 more copper, and on 5 here, what I thought would be another festival is a ball from my opponent, picking up a marauder and another lighthouse. So with seeing the marauder buy or gain from my opponent, I'm happy that I have 3 lighthouses instead of 2. I'll probably not get hit with that Marauder for the rest of the game. The ruins can be nagging because it's a slow junking attack. So there my opponent just picks up a silver. I do not play this 3rd lighthouse because I want it in my deck to be defended, and the extra money doesn't do anything for me. So rather than have it miss a shuffle, I include it in the shuffle and pick up an amulet here, and I get this brilliant triple collision turn. Obviously sarcasm there. My opponent picks up another lighthouse. So here I opt for the amulet and pick up a festival. My opponent is defended from militia, so no need to play that. And I can get the amulet's effect this turn. So here my opponent has 8 and 2 buys, spending as spoils, and will pick up gold and a lighthouse. Obviously provinces are consideration, but my opponent opts to build a little bit here, the gold and the lighthouse. They have quite a bit of lighthouses. I'm not sure how good that many lighthouses is for them, especially given that I have just the militia. Again, not playing that lighthouse for similar reasons stated before. And here, my opponent has 7 and picks up a second gold. So I think they're set to start buying provinces at this point. I pick up a silver with the amulet and buy a gold here. So now I'm looking in position to buy provinces too. My opponent picks up a province there. With this amulet, I can get rid of this dead chapel now. Like I said, the few coppers don't bother me that much, and pick up a province of my own, so I'm able to keep pace there. My opponent gets province number 2, but I'm only able to get a duchy. I am going for duchy this early because it's going to be province a turn from here on out, I expect. My opponent proves me right, picking up a province here and a silver. Luckily, I do have province in this hand, and you'll see here I play both the lighthouses because I want the money for next turn. The attack from Marauder isn't really that significant or worth defending at this point. Province again from my opponent. Here I take the money from the amulet to get up to exactly 8. Have to take that last province then hope that my opponent only has duchy. So said, so done, and I'm able to squeak out a tie after that bad opening. So that's game 2. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.